to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power.
And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
They both hit hard. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith analyzed the potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Stephen A. predicts that Crawford would win by decision but emphasizes the need for caution. He recalls a warning from Gervonta Davis, who noted that Crawford could find himself in trouble if he engages too aggressively. Given Canelo's natural advantages in size and power, Stephen A. believes Crawford will need to depend on his defense, speed, and ring intelligence rather than getting caught up in heavy exchanges. Both analysts agree that in this matchup, strategy, not sheer strength, will be the key to victory.
Greatness. And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight.
Meanwhile, Max Kellerman points out that Terence Crawford's overall skill set seems more refined, giving him a clear technical advantage. He acknowledges Canelo Alvarez's exceptional durability, especially his strong chin and naturally larger frame, which gives him added strength in physical exchanges. However, Max also notes that Canelo hasn't looked as sharp or dominant in his recent outings, suggesting a slight decline in form. This contrast, Crawford's precision and skill versus Canelo's size and toughness, sets up the fight as a compelling clash of timing versus durability.
Great chin. A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Mm-hmm. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov.
Antonio Tarver, a respected boxing analyst and former champion, has voiced his strong support for Terence Crawford while also recognizing the immense challenge this upcoming fight represents. He praises Crawford for consistently proving himself across multiple weight divisions but emphasizes that this particular bout is on an entirely different level. Tarver believes it will be the toughest test of Crawford's career, and one that even Canelo Alvarez has never truly encountered.
Crawford's take, I'm Bud County all the way, but this is going to be the toughest fight, the best fighter Bud has ever been in the ring with. And arguably, this could be the best fighter Canelo has ever been in the ring with. We'll find out which one is which on September 13th.
Antonio, I appreciate your time. Safe travels back home.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.
Timothy Bradley Jr., known for his sharp boxing intelligence, believes the opening round of the Canelo vs. Crawford fight will be a cautious and strategic start. He expects both fighters to avoid taking early risks, instead using the round to study each other's movement, timing, and potential openings. Bradley points out that Crawford is particularly patient in the early stages of big fights, preferring to observe before setting traps. Similarly, Canelo often uses the first round to gauge distance and make adjustments as the bout unfolds. According to Bradley, this calculated approach means the opening round will be more of a tactical exchange than an explosive one.
First, Crawford wants to feel his punching power as well. You know, in the beginning, it's all the position balance. Like both guys are trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm. You know, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. You know, it takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo to get right to it. Canelo, although he is a prolific counterpuncher, fantastic counterpuncher, you know, he tends to find his spots a lot quicker. You know, and the indication of that is when, if you look at any of the boxers that Canelo has faced, Trout, even Danny Jacobs, even when he fought against Charlo, you just check out the first round. You know, he usually takes off, just feels the power, you know, cruises, you know, see what these guys know, couple of feints, level changes, you know, just gathering information, right? Crawford does the same and similar things. So I think the first round is going to be a real, like, calm and cautious round by both fighters. But in the second round, Canelo's going to start applying that pressure, man. Pre-engagement with Crawford is a little bit more difficult than a Charlo, okay? And let me explain this. So pre-engagement is the movements before you get into that sweet spot, which is mid-range, to be able to let your hands go, right? Both guys are trying to counter each other's movement. Both guys are looking at each other's, you know, hands, trying to anticipate what they believe is going to come next.